artist. Today I'm going to show you how to make a print with a linoleum stamp. You're going to need some supplies. You'll need your linoleum stamp that's already been carved. You'll need this tool, this rolly tool. It's called a brayer. It has a flat side on one side. That's the side that it gets set on, okay? You'll also need a tray with some ink in it. Now this ink is water soluble. That means that it's easily washed with water. That means that the ink does not like water at all. So we want to keep water away from your workspace, all right? You'll also need a paper to print on. And then you're gonna wanna grab one of those practice sheets at the front of the room that you can use to protect your piece of paper when you roll the ink onto your stamp. I'm going to show you a couple of different stamps. I'm going to show you one design stamp, and then I'm going to show you the Darth Vader stamp. All right, so when you're doing the ink, you want to make sure that you don't have too much ink. If you have too much ink on the brayer, it's going to get into the places that you've carved out, and we don't want that. We just want the ink on the places that you haven't carved, okay? So I'm going to show you the design one first, and I'm going to get the ink ready. Now, I said it's water soluble, right? So that makes it good because it's easy to wash. The hard thing about water soluble ink is that it dries very quickly. So when you're working, you don't want to like just hang out and talk. You want to focus on your task at hand so your ink doesn't dry, okay? So I'm gonna take some ink from the top of the tray and move it down, and I'm gonna start moving it back and forth. And do you hear how it's not really making any noise, right? I'm gonna turn the brayer and go sideways. And it's starting to make this like sticky noise. You hear this like sticky noise? Once it starts making a sticky noise, okay, then you wanna go ahead and put it on your stamp. Now I've got a piece of that practice paper underneath because I don't wanna accidentally get ink on my good paper. And I'm going to just roll on this stamp a couple times until I feel like I got it really good. Now, this isn't made from a machine, it's made by hand. So if your print doesn't turn out perfect, that's okay. It's just proof that it was made by hand. Remember, this flat side is where you set it down because we don't want to get ink everywhere. So I'm going to set my brayer down over here, and then I'm going to pick my stamp up, turn it over, and press. You don't have to hold it down for a long time, but what you do want to do, make sure, is that you press evenly, okay? So don't just press on one side, you want to press evenly across the whole thing. And then you can lift up and see that you've got a print. Now, it's normal for it to look not 100% solid like this. This is just the nature of printmaking. That is what it does. This, especially this ink, this style of ink. So let me leave that one here, and then let's try the Darth Vader. So I'm gonna get my little protective sheet back under here. Okay, get a little more ink. Hear that sticky sound? Roll it on my Darth Vader. Set my brayer down. Move my protective paper, flip it over, and press. Pull up, and I've got a lovely Darth Vader print. Okay, so what are you going to do today? Well, you can create a print on a piece of paper where you do multiple prints. So for example, I could do, probably fit like 12 Darth Vaders on here. That would be nice. You could do a print where you make a border and then draw a picture in it later, okay? You could share stamps with people, and you have multiple stamps on your paper. That would be fun. But what you don't want to do is go to the sink until you're all finished, okay? When you are all finished, put your print on the drying rack and then wash your stamp, okay? The stamps can be left in the drying rack and everything will wash off your hands just fine. I got a little ink on my hands already. Everything will wash off just fine. I hope you have so much fun with printmaking. It's such a satisfying process. Happy creating, artists.